Good morning and welcome to Coffee Chat with David and Kylie Knight. I'm the David, she's the Kylie.
And you didn't change the date.
I didn't change the date.
That's not really the date, people.
I really enjoyed celebrating my birthday, so I think
the birthday love to keep on going.
That's right.
But today is about to change. We're
Yeah,
changing the
it's gonna be magic.
timeline
It's gonna be
as
magic. Watch
we
this. Watch
speak.
this. Bum, ba, bum, ba, ba.
Ready?
And ta-da! There you go.
Look at that. Now, today is Friday, April the 24th, 2020. Thank you so much for joining us today. As magic appears.
We're so professional here.
That
Oh,
was fun.
oh my goodness.
Hey, everybody. Well, people are coming in and joining us for yet another fun episode of Coffee Chats.
That's right. Hey, Zeke Griffin joining us. Good morning, sir. And I see Clark is there, and I saw that Clay is there. April is there. Got some good people showing up for a fun time today. So, yeah. Hey, be sure to let people know. Do the hashtags.
Hashtag
Hello Nights.
Cup of
Hashtag
awesome.
Cup of Awesome.
You guys know, but if there's new people here, which we hope there are, letting them know what to do.
And you know, it is a hope of ours that we'd get new people to watch this and more people to find out all the fun we're having. And you can help us with that simply by telling others about it. Be sure to like and share.
Very cool.
We should go live on Instagram. Zeke, that would be amazing. Yes, let's do that. Let's make that happen.
Okay.
And Clark, no, I'm not doing a card trick.
Sorry, Clark.
That is not what this is about.
No, we're just gonna sit here.
This is about having fun.
Coffee and
yes.
Chat with awesome people.
Yeah. Be sure to let us know where you're watching from and what you're drinking this morning.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, your birthday is all over.
My birthday is all over.
Sad?
I'm sad.
Aww.
Yeah. You don't look too sad about it.
No.
You're happy it's over?
It was fun celebrating
it was
yesterday.
Fun. Yeah. And Facebook's always a blast because you get all those comments from people and you feel all the love, and at some point I'll actually respond to all the people who comment.
We went out into the crazy world.
We did. We bought a cake.
Yeah.
Because cake is my jam.
That is David's thing. So we had to go get him cake. So we went out beyond the world of our apartment. Ooh.
I know.
There is land out there, and there's people walking around, roaming this earth. I discovered.
That's right. Because we went to the beyond, right?
Yeah, we went to the beyond. Did you enjoy your cake?
I did enjoy my cake. It was wonderful. It was. I'm so boring. I love like white cake with buttercream frosting. That is just.
Guys, tell us what kind of cake is your favorite.
Yes, we want to know. Or are you a pie person? Or are you some other cobbler person? Is there a birthday cobbler?
Not to my knowledge, but doesn't mean that there's not.
I was going to say, doesn't mean you couldn't have it.
Right.
Let's see. I see Jeniffer Dake is joining us. Good morning. We have a farm story from you coming up.
That's right. Just do a quick tease.
That's right.
There is going to be a farm story later.
Josh is watching from Illinois. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Channelon? I'm going to assume it's Channelon. I don't know if that's correct. But and he's drinking house blend this morning.
Oh,
so, nice.
Well, cheers to that, my friend.
Absolutely. Well.
All right. Shall we get going?
I think we should. Oh, although Zeke just said my mom makes this strawberry cake with whipped ice cream filling for my birthday. Your mom sounds amazing. Can I have your mom?
Is she adopting?
Right. We're available for adoption.
We are.
Actually, these days we kind of are.
Sure. That sounds so good.
It does sound so good. Well, hey, we have an awesome guest today.
Yes.
Somebody who we've only met in the last few weeks, thankfully through this whole thing.
I know.
And so we haven't really had a chance to get to know her, but we spoke a few moments ago, and she's so much fun, and I think you guys are absolutely love it. She's got some stories.
Story time. You sit back, grab your coffee, and listen.
That's right. And I hope I meant to ask pronunciation on her last name. I hope I say this right. So please welcome Becki Biermaier. Did I get it right? Even somewhere close?
Yes, good job. That's right. Woohoo!
Rock on.
Hi, Becki. Welcome.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me. It's great to see you guys.
Absolutely, you too. Yeah, we have a mutual friend in Jeniffer Dake, obviously, and we asked her after our conversation with her. Do you know anybody else who you think we should talk to? And you were like, Becki. Yeah, it was right at the top, and you have done a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about what you've done and who you are, what you do. Tell us about
Right.
Becki.
Thank you. Well, I'm Becki Biermaier. I am currently living out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is where I was born. I am a diastrophic dwarf, which means I'm a little person. So I'm about 3.5 feet tall. And I love being a little person. It is, to me, it is my platform for sharing the gospel with people because I stand out. And with that, I mean, my parents really raised me well. My parents are both average height, and I have two brothers. One's average height, and the other's a little person like me. What's sweet about that is my mom used to call us her salt and pepper shakers. And she had two.
I love that. The
I just
matching
thought that
set.
was
That's
so
good.
cute. But my parents did a great job raising all three of us to understand that God doesn't make mistakes and we're made exactly how we're supposed to be. And so, actually, my crisis moment of coming to Christ was about an hour. I had been at a friend's house, and her mother said to me, "Are you sad for being handicapped? Because if I was you, I would be miserable." And I was like,
Oh my
that had
goodness.
never, you guys, that had never crossed my mind. And I was 12 at that point. And I went home and had a great talk with my parents about what she said. And then I went upstairs and invited the creator of the universe, the creator of me, right into my heart to be with me every single day, good days, bad days. And I haven't looked back. I mean, Jesus Christ is my all in all. So when I finished college, I moved right to Nashville and worked in the Christian music industry for a while, and realized I was having more impact on Saturday mornings when I was teaching Sunday school. And oddly, I used to hate children. I used to think, I know, I thought they were like sticky, which they are, and noisy, which they are. But I fell in love with working with kids. And I think that kind of transformational moment for me was Sunday school. This little girl ran right into my room and she just hugged me so tight. And she said, "I love that my teacher is my size." And I realized that it mattered. And it was, like this thing that God could use. And so totally switched career directions. And I've been in education now for 22 years, either as a classroom teacher or principal, depending on the season. Moved back up to Minneapolis about almost 6 years ago to help with my elderly parents. And I'm working at a great school up here, and I love it.
Oh, that is fantastic. I love that. I love that.
Great.
So one of the things about you is that you are very active on like YouTube, where you share stories, and you have
Yeah.
some amazing stories. And we're going to ask you about some ones that we want to ask about. But I'm curious. We're curious, and I think others are curious. What is your favorite story that you just absolutely love to share?
Well, I'm going to leave all the ones on YouTube a secret so people go check those
They have to
out.
go check it out. She's a marketer too. I like it.
That's right. Actually, that's one of my degrees. But one of my favorite actually involves Jeniffer Dake. Jen, right? I'm going to give you the scoop, the inside scoop. But Jeniffer used to teach science when I was the principal of a school in Nashville, and we became great friends. And when I'm not at home, I ride a mobility scooter so that I can go fast and far. My legs obviously wouldn't carry me fast. And in a school hallway when I'm half the size of big kids. So Jen and I decided we were going to come up with a stunt. And both of us had this crazy personality where we'll give anything a shot. Anyway, so our idea was this. I would be scootering through the hall at full speed, and she would run behind me, and we'd staged it like this wasn't on purpose kind of idea. And she would run behind me and then leap over the back of my scooter and land perfectly on the seat right behind me. And so we would practice and practice and practice, and we thought we had perfected our skills. And so we were like, today's our day. And there were parents in the hallway, in the lobby, and students. It was dismissal time. So we figured this would be like the perfect moment. So I'm scootering through, not even looking at Jen. She's not looking at me. And then here she comes. And she's like bolting forward. And it's awesome. And I'm like, this is our moment. And she goes for her leap. And she does not make it. One foot makes it. One. And hooks onto my scooter. So now I'm dragging her through the hallway like a horse with a rider who can't get off. And her head just was like, bam, right on the ground. And of course, the howls are loud, so I can't hear this. And I keep going, and I'm dragging her.
Going.
And all of the parents are like, ah! And the kids, I mean, they just like were frozen. So finally I figure out that, she's dusting the floor with her hair, and we stop and we kind of get her wiggled free, and we could not stop laughing. Like we were like trying to catch our breath. I'm positive we both probably peed our pants a little. But it was that moment where like that one goes down in history.
Oh.
That does. Wow, Jeniffer.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Sorry, Jen.
Yeah,
she's like, oh no.
I think she remembers that story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. You want to ask the next one?
Go for it.
All right. So, how are you and your family and everybody kind of dealing with this pandemic and the stay-at-home, the sheltering in place, and that whole fun stuff?
Yeah. We're kind of living somewhere between fearful and fearless.
Hmm.
And I would say, everybody's kind of on that spectrum where they land. And I think it's something that you need to be prayerful about, and just really, as believers, hopefully we're all doing that as part of our daily life. Where am I appointed to go and who am I appointed to talk to? And so for me, I meet a lot of friends at the park, and we'll park our cars side by side and roll the windows down and visit. But there are times you've got to go into the store, things like that. But overall, I actually really love it. I know that sounds bizarre, but I'm teaching on Zoom right now, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, Zoom is. We should have bought stock in that.
We really should have. I know. Absolutely. Everybody's on it right now. Yeah, you think we would love to? It's okay. So we want to know if we can get another story from you.
Sure.
Before we move on, I'm curious though, because we just kind of talked about this whole, sheltering in place and the pandemic and everything, and of course, there's been the whole run on toilet paper, and I understand that you have an interesting history with toilet paper.
I do. I do. This is hilarious. When I first moved to Nashville, my friends back up here in Minneapolis were like, if you ever meet famous people, steal something from their house, but something that doesn't matter, and send it to me. And I was like, something from their house that doesn't matter. So I was over at Amy Grant's house, and I was like, right before I was leaving, I was like, do you guys mind if I use your restroom? And of course, they're just sweet as can be. And they're like, of course, no problem. Just let yourself out when you're done. So I go into the bathroom. And first of all, I've got to say, it was so nice to see their house was a mess like mine. Their towels were on the floor in the bathroom, and the sink was all wet with water everywhere. And I was like, these are real people. This is wonderful. And so, right? And so I go over and I'm like counting sheets of toilet paper, like this one's for Beth, Diane, Sue, and I'm like counting out all of my friends who've asked me for something from a famous person's house.
There's that many people who've asked.
Fold it. Of course, I kept one for myself. Amy uses Northern, by the way. Northern, it's her brand.
She would.
You should know that. And so I shoved it in my pocket and went on my merry way. Sent it all off to my friends, and of course I framed mine because what a great conversational piece to have out.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
So that was the first one I stole, was Amy's.
So
is it break glass in case of emergency?
It might be right now.
Boy, what do you do in that moment? I've got one square left.
But it's Amy's.
Make it good. Make
Oh,
it good. Norman better
That's
oh my
right.
goodness, that is awesome. All right, so back to some seriousness.
Yes.
Uh, there's a lot of talk about all the downsides about what we're all going through, and obviously the
Right.
struggle for a lot of people. But we try to look on the positive side of things. I think you're kind of the same way. And so, what do you think might be the benefits that we're going to see coming out of this pandemic?
Definitely more family time. And not just like the people that are stuck in your house, but like people are calling their grandparents. People are taking that time to connect and to learn programs like Zoom or other things. I love that. As a matter of fact, the other day I was over at Target, and the young man who was checking out all of my purchases, we were talking about it, and he said, I'm thankful. He said, I'm missing the end of my senior year of high school, but he said, in all honesty, I never knew my brothers.
Oh wow!
And I was like, well, say more about that. And he's the oldest of three, and was just telling me, like, at 18 years old, he's playing.
Oh
Like
wow!
he's playing with his little brothers. And he said, my mom's teaching me to cook, and my dad's teaching me things around the house and things that I need to know before I leave for college. And he said, I wouldn't trade this for anything.
Ah,
And I loved his perspective. So it's really the benefit is family time. And for me, I'm picking up the phone every night and calling the young women that I've mentored over the years and just checking in with them. And it's all about relationship.
that's beautiful. I love that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is a refrain we're hearing, on some of these conversations is that, there is a return to this understand the people who are in your house sort of
Right.
thing,
Like, hi, nice to
Right.
meet you.
It's good to meet you. Hi, pleasure.
And
So,
I'm in your house right now. It looks
that,
lovely.
Wait, where's our toilet paper?
Right? It's in my pocket.
Oh, no, you just steal it from famous people.
No.
We're safe. Our toilet paper's safe. All right, so now we're going to move into a super fun time. That's our little lightning round that we call 5 questions.
Okay.
All right, so
First question. We've got a lot of time right now, so what are you binge watching right now?
Oh man, you had to ask that. I'm kind of embarrassed. I love the show Married at First Sight.
really?
Don't tell. Oh wait,
We won't
you can't
tell
say
anybody.
don't tell anyone, can
Between
I?
us.
Just between us, right?
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. All right.
Okay.
So second question. If you could have any other job than the one you have right now, what would it be?
Author, speaker. I've actually finished my first draft of a book. Yeah, I'm very excited. And I haven't decided on a title. I think it might be Everybody Look Up, because as a little person, I'm looking up to everybody and everything, but most of all to the Lord. So,
Yes.
author, speaker.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay, what is your favorite to-go order?
Oh, easy. Sesame chicken and fried rice, pot stickers.
She's very
Ooh,
specific.
she's
I love
very
that.
specific. I like that.
That's probably
Oh,
the
yeah.
best we've had.
I think so.
Yeah.
I dig that.
That does sound good. Now you're making me hungry.
I know, right? What are you reading right now?
Right now, I'm reading Hind Speed on High Places for about the 20th time, but this time I'm taking a group of girls through it. So,
fantastic.
Exciting.
Wonderful book.
Yeah.
This really is a great time to kind of dig into some of those books that you've either read before and maybe you kind of flew through them, but now you can kind of really dive into it.
It's all about using the time well, right?
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so they decide to make a movie of your life, which would be awesome.
Okay.
Who plays you?
How about Melissa McCarthy?
Oh,
We look a lot alike. She's just a taller version of me.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fun.
Nice.
Very cool.
Oh, man.
Well, that's it. That's the 5 questions.
That's it. Becky,
Awesome.
this was
Thanks,
a blast.
guys.
Thank you for having us on. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day.
And so
It's
if
been
people
awesome.
want to learn more about you, what's the best way to do that?
You can go to YouTube and look me up by my name, Becki. I'm a Becky with an I because I was an 80s kid. And my last name is Biermaier. I know, right? Biermaier. Or you can easily just email me at everybodylookup@gmail.com and I can send people links to my YouTube there. So
Rock on.
And
And
it makes sense for the name of the book then, doesn't it?
It does.
Right.
She's already got it there.
And we can put a link to your YouTube as well in our show notes. So we'll make sure to do that.
Super.
Yeah. Awesome.
Unless anyone has any last questions before we go. We didn't mention that before.
We didn't mention that. We forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
I guess not. Nobody.
I mean,
All
there's
right.
a bit of a delay, but
There
I'm
is.
sure
Yeah. Okay.
we can come
All
back to
right.
that.
Well, I know you've got a lot to do and
Yes.
you've got more Zoom calls to be on. So
Yeah.
thank you
Yes.
again for your time. And hopefully we'll get to do this again sometime.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks,
Take care.
Becky.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was so much fun. She was a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
Great
this
story.
has been so much fun, right? Doing another guest week.
It has
Yep. And so we've decided it's gonna happen again.
another whole week.
You guys get another whole week of us
Another
next
5
week.
guests, Monday through Friday.
We're gonna start off with a good friend of ours, Pete Sutton. We think you'll like him. He's a really great guy. He actually hosted he did the little review for our virtual magic show
Yeah.
yesterday that we did with him last week. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking with him on Monday. But we did promise that we've got another farm story from Jeniffer Dake.
That's right.
And I think you guys are going to dig this one. So check out Farm Stories by Jeniffer Dake. If I can get it to come on properly. Oh, I changed the name.
Hi, I'm Jeniffer Dake, and this is Farm Stories from a City House. This past week, as my dad and I were driving to the farmhouse, we stopped to put gas in the car, and he said, I think I'd like a cup of coffee. And so I went into the gas station and I bought us both a cup of coffee, and I know that my dad loves jelly donuts. And so I bought him this jelly donut and it looked so good. And I took it out to the car and we both had a donut and a cup of coffee. And I was like, here, Dad, have this donut. And he looked at it and he was like, yes, this is what I've wanted, right? Because we're living in this time right now where anything can seem like awesomeness, right? And it's like, oh yeah, I totally haven't had a jelly donut in so long. So he starts eating this jelly donut and he starts to he's like, this jelly donut, there's nothing in it. It's horrible. And I was like, really? And I look over at my dad who is biting the wrong end of the jelly donut. And you might be like, what is the wrong end? Well, you know how one end they squirt the jelly in and there's a little hole? He was biting the opposite end. And every time he bit that donut, it was like pooping jelly down his shirt. And he's biting it and he's getting more and more disappointed in this donut. And he's like, this is the worst jelly. They put no jelly in this. How can you have a jelly donut with no jelly? And I'm giggling in my seat because I can see that it looks like he has been shot by some sort of jelly canyon. And I'm like, Dad, hey Dad, just stop eating that donut for a minute and look at your shirt. And he's like, what? And then we both bust into laughter because he's so disappointed in this donut. And the reality is he was just biting the wrong end of it the whole time. And all of the goodness was just pouring out because he wasn't there to receive it. The story made me laugh so much. But as I thought through it, I thought, so often we bite at the wrong end of what God has for us. You might be sitting here in this season and you might be thinking, this is not what I wanted my senior year to look like. I don't get prom, I don't get graduation, I don't get. You might be thinking, this is not what I wanted my daughter's kindergarten year to look like. Where's my picture of her in a kindergarten cap and gown? Or I thought 2020 was my year of clear vision, right? We all had expectations for this year, and every person in the country did not expect what is happening right now. I can guarantee that. And so many of us are ending up in this place of fear and disappointment. We're so frustrated that what we wanted is not what's happening. And often in our faith, when we get to that point, our anger and our frustration gets cast upon the Lord. Not in a way that is good and healthy, but in anger like God doesn't love me. He doesn't have blessing. He's not powerful and in control. And I want to tell you that's incorrect. Just as my dad was mad at that jelly donut for not having jelly, The truth of the matter is, it did have jelly. It was just all over his shirt, right? Like, God is powerful, and God is in control, and God does have a plan, and God knew this would be your senior year. And so what I want to encourage you with this week is don't bite the wrong end of the donut, right? Let's dig deep and bite into the scriptural promises of Christ for us. Scripture says that Christ came that we may have life and have it abundantly. That does not mean wealth and riches and perfection, but it does mean joy. It means peace beyond our understanding. It means being able to take the situation and walk in strength and hope of Christ. Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. If you love me, you will find me. You see, God wants you to seek him in this time. If you're feeling disappointed, discouraged, and frustrated, please take a moment and just dig into Christ. What does that look like? What does it mean to bite into the other end of the jelly donut? Well, maybe you put your phone aside and you pick up your Bible, and for the first time you read scriptures for yourself before falling asleep. Maybe you don't have prom, but you have the opportunity to learn how to cook from your mom, or how to work on a car with your dad, or what opportunities are in front of you that the Lord is saying, this is my gift to you. Bite into this. My prayer for you this week is that you will find that jelly and it will bring you much laughter and much joy.
Well, that was awesome, wasn't it?
That's so good.
She is awesome. I got to be honest with you. I am absolutely loving this segment of Farm Stories, and seems like some of you are too. So hopefully we can keep Jeniffer going with these.
I feel like we should have a jelly donut now.
We meant to have jelly donuts, didn't we?
Yeah, we did talk about getting some. That would have been great.
That does sound good. Now I want jelly donuts and
It's
fried
the right
rice.
Way.
That's right.
Fried rice.
Jelly donuts and fried rice.
Sesame chicken
With fried rice,
chicken.
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Jelly donut.
Well,
And a side of coffee.
and a side of coffee. Coffee is gone.
Coffee.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Might need another coffee today. Well, there we go. There's another episode of Coffee Chat down.
Right?
Yeah.
Another whole week.
Man.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. Yeah. So the weekend is here. So, we can go out and do all those.
Oh, wait.
No,
we
no.
cannot.
I guess we're going to stick around the house. That's a little depressing, actually.
Morgan said, so good. Needed this message today. Thank you.
Well, it was a good message.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Josh says, I prefer the custard filled. I like the white vanilla cream filled. Oh, my goodness.
I like the jelly. I used to get those in primary school, the jelly.
Did you?
Ones.
What was your favorite jelly?
Just the strawberry jelly.
Oh, just strawberry jelly. Because don't they have like a raspberry jelly? Oh, you didn't have choices.
This is at school. We didn't
okay.
have lunch.
Alexa, thank you.
So,
she's gonna
all right.
Okay.
We're gonna just keep talking and
That's right.
off here.
Thank you guys for watching today, and we look forward to seeing you next week with more Coffee Chat goodness. And hope you'll join us and be sure to ask some questions. And if you guys know of anybody who you think we should be interviewing, be sure to drop those in the comments. Or if you want to be interviewed yourself, let us know. And we'll see what we can do to get you on.
Sounds great.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Bye.
Bye.